We were talking about the role government psychological operations have on the public's misunderstanding of the current crisis.
If Assange is really an enemy of the state, why isn't he on a no-fly list?
Why are so many discredited news agencies like CNN and the New York Times and Wired magazine rushing to accept Julian Assange and WikiLeaks as a legitimate opposition news organization?
Have you ever seen a more inept psychological operation?
Welcome to BetterBadNewz. Half true, more or less, 100% of the time.
The WikiLeaks narrative is embarrassing to intelligence officers in the business. Anybody paying attention can see it.
Didn't WikiLeaks release the ClimateGate emails discrediting the science behind climate change?
Enough!
Shouldn't we all just shut up about WikiLeaks?
It just confuses everybody.
Because it's just too complicated for an uneducated, over-entertained, and misinformed public to understand.
Because of Julian Assange and WikiLeaks, this past December was the second coldest since 1658. Thanks a lot, WikiLeaks.
Somebody should smack Julian Assange in the face with a hockey stick graph.
International Panel on Climate Change.
I just wondered if you wanted to comment on your role in the release of the hacked emails of the UEA Climate Research Centre.
Those emails revealed that actually these scientists had been conspiring to delete climate skeptics.
Absolutely outrageous.
That Greenland was never green, and the medieval warm period is pure speculation based on the paintings of a few 14th century artists who painted warm weather vegetable gardens depicting a few vegetables that can't grow in northern England today, not because of the weather. It was a fiction. They painted those vegetables because most of the artists of any stature have always hated English cuisine. They painted Italian vegetables, so instead they were hungry and they had to eat their canvases.
I actually have a few hundred pictures to prove it.
Julian Assange is an intelligence asset, a disinformation operation of the Pentagon, you know, like Valery Plame. They're both blondes.
It's question time.
I would like to thank the panel for providing this opportunity for me to challenge the panel on this topic that I know little or nothing about.
How did, over the past 10 years, global warming, how did that become an issue?
So this question is off limits and you know it, so shut up about WikiLeaks releasing the climate emails.
We released over 10 years worth of emails from the CRU and those climate scientists. So one climate scientist was speaking to another saying, here's a mathematical trick that we use to
What would you have me believe? That Julian Assange is a deep cover agent like Valery Plame inserted into a community to gain its trust in order to betray the community at a later time? When has that ever happened?
Well, that happened when Valery Plame was inserted into a community of weapons dealers to gain their trust until she ratted them out when the Bush administration needed her to misdirect attention away from the lies about the attacks on 9/11 and instead to direct public attention to the lies about weapons of mass destruction prior to the invasion of Iraq. Way too complicated.
It just confuses everybody.
That program was shut down, like the Anthrax program that was shut down. But if you have evidence proving that the program is still going on, do not send any emails about it to WikiLeaks. Because Julian Assange is a remote-controlled counterintelligence drone.
Now, if we look at the WikiLeaks board of directors, who do we find? Ben Laurie, former top security official of Google. Well, we know that Google comes out of a project funded by In-Q-Tel, the proprietary launched into the world by the CIA. We also know that Google, in the meantime, has now practically merged with the National Security Agency, all in the orbit of the U.S. intelligence community, and they operate under left cover.
Do not send any email to Julian Assange about 9/11. Send it to Cryptome. Cryptome was a precursor to WikiLeaks, and they don't trust Julian Assange.
Each Anthrax letter had a note reading, Allah is great. That sounds like a false flag attack, if you ask me.
BetterBadNewz.
It is a war crime to weaponize Anthrax, so we don't expect WikiLeaks to release it if he gets an email proving it.